Hello, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and I got something kind of interesting tonight. Mama talked me into going going Black Friday shopping with her, and we stopped at Gamestop, looking for a particular Switch game. The Switch game is one that has like a little pin with it, and you can color it in, and all kinds of stuff like that. Mama really wants that game, so we went there and we were looking for it. While I was there, I kid you not, man, I saw a kid trading in an Xbox Series S for God of War Ragnarok. For God of War Ragnarok. I looked at him and I was like, "Are you sure you want to do that, bruh?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, dude." I didn't try to convince him not to do it. I was like, "Okay, man, your money, dude, your money or whatever." I'm not here to convince you. I'm here looking for a game, but I just found that interesting. The kid, gets a PlayStation 5, and then all that time, all that money, everything he had invested in that Xbox Series S, he literally traded it for one game. And for a linear story game too, man. I'm like, really, dude? You're gonna trade that in, and like you're gonna feel so hurt later down the road? Because I know I would. And like, I mean, there's a million ways to justify it. Whatever, you find a way to justify it and be like, yeah, man, it was cool. I didn't like the stupid Xbox anyways, or something. To try to minimize what you did. But when you look at the severity of how overhyped these PlayStation games are, and just how overhyped these games get in general, if we're being 100% honest, like Elden Ring is the only one that's like really like blowing my socks off. The Elden Ring is pretty much the only game that came out underhyped and way over delivered. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only game that came out underhyped and over delivered. Another one that struck me was Gotham Knights. Wasn't really overhyped. Actually, once the 30 FPS thing came out, everybody was like, "Oh no!" But I ended up liking that game. Grounded, ended up loving that game. And the reason I bring these games up, Sonic Frontiers, the reason I bring these games up is because they're way better to me than God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok. Okay. There's a few ways to go into it. There's a few ways to go into that. And, like, I feel like I have to kind of like put the, I do this with, I really do this with all games. I kind of just put like the visual stuff to the side, when I'm reviewing games now, because that honeymoon phase for me lately has been wearing off really fast when it comes to visuals in any games. And that's because we're literally still playing games that look like games we've been playing for the last 7 years. Well, 8 years, 9 years now. So they don't really jump out at me as much as they used to. They don't really jump out at me as much as they used to. So I kind of take a step back a little bit, and I'm like, "Ooh, boy, man, like that honeymoon phase is basically over." So if you're wondering why, I can look at a game like God of War and be like, "No, man," like, and not freak out and be like, "Oh my gosh, it's a masterpiece," is because I'm not necessarily putting as much emphasis on the visuals anymore as I used to. I mean, yeah, I want my games to look good, and if they toe the line for the most part, then it is what it is. But like when you get into the other features that everybody's talking about, like the ray tracing, not in God of War, all the other stuff, like 120 FPS, not in God of War. What else? What else? Super fast SSD, not in God of War. All of these things that we are supposedly supposed to get with our next gen features, they're really not there. Like, nothing's materialized. We're literally still playing Xbox One and PlayStation 4 games that just look a little better. I mean, they honestly look like, like say you're looking at Castlevania Lords of Shadows 2 and you put it on a PC and you're like, "Whoa, man, this looks incredible." That's basically what everything looks like from like the Xbox One games. Now they look like you're running them on a PC with high settings. That's basically it. Like, really, that's it. But what happens when we start getting these next gen games? And they're 30 frames a second, or they got a lot of fidelity, so they're 1080p again. I already got people in the comments like freaking out about it. You know, like every time we hear like 1080p or 30 frames a second or something, people literally go ballistic over that. I've went ballistic a few times on the channel. But that's the thing, man. I feel so bad for that kid. And I used to get this feeling all the time when I used to manage Game Crazy, man. Like these kids, they bring in all this stuff and they'd just be like so hyped and so psyched about this one thing that they were literally willing to give away their whole collection for that one item. And I'm just like, gosh dang, kid. I don't get it, man. I don't get why. I don't get why PlayStation has to like charge higher prices. It just brings me back to like a game like God of War Ragnarok would have been perfect. Would have been perfect for PlayStation Plus. Would have been perfect. You got a kid going out and selling his Xbox Series S to play a 20 to 30 hour game. I mean, I got it. You know, you little fanboys out there telling me, like, yeah, man, you got to play it on the hardest levels and you got to spend like 40 hours in there. I turned it on today and I started playing it. And the first thing, I got bored so quickly that I ended up making a video about how disappointed I am in God of War Ragnarok this year. Like it seriously just disappointed me more than anything. And I know, I do it to myself. I play a lot of freaking games. I play so many games every year that I do it to myself because I just, it's not doing it for me anymore. Like these AAA bangers, man, they're just not doing it anymore. They're not hitting that mark. That one there kind of felt rushed. And I know there's a lot of people out there to defend it. Whatever, defend it. And I know there's a lot of you fanboys that are be like, yeah, man, I can't believe that kid sold that Xbox Series S. That's freaking awesome, dude. See, like, Xbox sucks. Xbox has no games. I know you guys are going to say that. But take a step back and look at this for a minute, because you can lie to yourself all you want, but you're going to play God of War Ragnarok in a month? Really? Okay. You're going to play it in a couple weeks? You're going to replay it again? How many times are you going to play God of War Ragnarok before you trade it in? And then you tell me, man, you honestly tell me, if you had an Xbox Series S with a Game Pass subscription and you could play all them games, what is this kid going to play after God of War Ragnarok? What's he going to play? You going to play like some Horizon Zero Dawn or Forbidden West? What's he gonna play, man? It would have been better if he would have just if he would have just waited until he had the money to buy that game. That's my opinion, man. I mean, they're gonna have used copies of that game pretty soon. They have a 15-day waiting period now at GameStop. I think we're getting pretty close to that. And I was talking to him, you know, my buddy over there, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, they got a few copies already. They've got some used copies that they'll be putting out here in a couple days, man." And I'm like, oof. The one dude that was working there, he was like, because I told him, I was like, yeah, dude, this is probably my biggest disappointment this year. And he's like, you can't believe. And I'm like, whatever, dude. Quit hyping people up for this game, man. Quit it. It's fine. It looks good. It's beautiful. It's definitely going to deliver that. But I guarantee people aren't going to be talking about God of War Ragnarok just like they weren't talking about God of War 18 as much as they talk about the old God of Wars. Because it's just not there, man. Us older Kratos fans, man, we're all about that. It seems like you new guys just want these freaking pretty visuals, and that's all you want. But yeah, man, I just thought I'd make a video on that. I can't believe that. I know this has been all over the place, but it really does. It really does just kind of like open your eyes a little bit to just how much overhype there is in the industry for these games. I think my lighting might be like really messed up in this video. I think I might be like super, super bright, whatever. Whatever. But yeah, dude, that's pretty sad, man. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe I watched that. I witnessed that tonight. But it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't surprise me. I've seen that many of times. I've seen kids bring in 50, 60 games in a console to trade it for a console in one game. I've seen that. I've been there. I've seen that multiple times. So yeah, dude, and I know they always feel sad because they always come back in later and they're like, gosh, I just wish I still had all my games and stuff. And I know how they feel, man. I know how they feel. I've been on the other end of that, taking all that stuff in trade, and I wish I could just go back. If I could go back, I'd have been like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? I would have Yeah, because seeing my collection and all my stuff, dude, I can never give it up. Never give it up, man. Not for that little bit of money, dude. Not for that little bit. That's just not worth it to me. So, all right, man. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.